So let's get started. Yes, what I'd like to do is just move ahead, and again the acknowledgement that this whole program and series was sponsored by the Australian government, the Australian Small Business Advisory Service program. The whole webinar this morning is about getting your business digitally engaged. Now, at one end of the spectrum, there's people who probably may only just have an email address, and at the other end, people are using a whole lot of internet tools. But I also stress that it's not just having a website, for example. You must have it configured in the right way and what they call SEO, search engine optimization, otherwise it's not working. But look, it's not just a website, it's incorporating a number of other mediums. What we're going to be talking about this morning is not something that I've just dreamt up. I'm using a reference, and that reference is Deloitte, the large accounting firm, and what they've told us is that only 16% of Australian businesses have high digital engagement, but the balance of them, about 50% or so, 50, 60%, only have very minimal engagement. The business end of the model that I'd like to stress again is that those people who are highly engaged are increasing their annual turnover at 20% per annum. So there's a lot of people who would like to say, I'm just keeping the, my business is not going backwards, let alone having an increase. So hopefully we can encourage you and show you ways to get ahead. Now, if anyone would like a full copy of this report, we are happy to send it to you. All I'd like you to do is to let Kylie know your email address, and we can send you out a full copy of that report to read in your own time. It's not too over the top, it's probably about 20 pages. Now, some of the other extracts from that report, for businesses that do have a high engagement, and I must stress that we're only talking about small businesses, less than 20 employees, or the micro businesses less than 4 people. If for those who do have high engagement, their average revenue per employee is $187,500 per annum. At the other end of the spectrum, for businesses that are not digitally engaged, it's only about $87,000 per annum. So, you know, this is the business model to consider getting involved. Also, from an employment point of view, highly engaged businesses are 4 times more likely to be increasing staff. Now, talk about small communities and small towns that's having an employment issue, become digitally engaged. The other surprising fact here is that 1/3 of all new total revenue is from new customers in the business's current local market. Now that's pretty significant. So these people who say, oh, we only deal bricks and mortar and we've always done it that way, we do encourage you to get out of your box. Now, it's not just having that website, the website must be working. And there's another statistic that says that if you have a good website plus social media, it may increase your business turnover by 54%. That is pretty impressive. So remember that 80 to 90% of websites are not set up correctly with SEO. Now, what that basically means is that if your website's not working, I can say now that it's not set up properly. But some of the reasons to have a web presence is to promote your product or service, also as a medium to showcase your business, and it's also a medium to inform your customers about techniques in business. So it's all about content. That's the reason why people go on the web. Also, if you're in a professional or a consulting area, it's also to show testimonials and to present your professional attributes to other people. And another thing about the web is to instruct, teach and advise people. I personally go on the web quite often just to learn how to do something or to ask a question. Now, the last thing there is just to obtain prospects and make sales. And that is, the business end again. Now, for the people who say, oh, the internet's not for me and it will never work and whatever, the whole world is shopping online. If you do a Google search about the amount of money that Australians are spending, it's up around the $18 billion. Sadly, half of that is going offshore. And the other statistic I saw is that only in about 2.5 years, the average family has increased their spending from $1,000 per annum to $2,000 per annum. Again, for people who don't have any interest in the web, this is a very profound statistic. It says that 85% of people will search online even before they go and buy. So that means they're doing for availability, prices, features, before they might even walk into your shop and place an order. And people are looking for answers and solutions online. And if you don't have a web presence, you're being severely penalised. I also know of a local plumber who got picked up a big contract just because he had a very basic name, address, telephone website. The person in Sydney was doing a search and they found his name online, phoned him up, and he got the business. So just as other plumbers in this town who don't have a website at all would have missed out on the ability for that contracts. And the other thing that's happening too is that 50% of buying searches are now on a mobile device. So we are very much using a mobile phone much more than an iPad or a desktop computers. So really combining the web and a local for local flavour is really where business is going. Now, what actually is a web presence? So it's not just a website per se, it's any activity, action or engagement to keep your customer involved or give them information or to engage with them. That could be sending emails, it could be showing them a YouTube. It's also interesting that in the 18 to 25 market, most of the young people would search on YouTube first before the traditional Google type search. So a website is the usual presence. Now a Facebook page, again, it's frightening the billions of people who have a Facebook page and the amount of time that the average person spends looking up their Facebook page. So I know of some businesses who are using just Facebook and doing very well. But look, if you do combine it with a website and some other mediums, you're going to do very well. Some of the other directory listings like Google Place and whatever. Now, there's a whole range of other mediums to suggest, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever. Not all of them are going to be for you, but what I would do is to check them out, and we do actually have like a large shopping list, a large graduated list of optional extras that you might consider. But we would like people to really get on board. We'd like to have the New England area and our New England Northwest known as the digital society. But look, websites and people using the internet you know, not everyone's doing it correctly. If you do, there's a couple of other sites that you can test the number of searches that you're getting. Depending upon who you talk to, up to 80, 90, 98% of websites are not what they call indexed, ranked, or in the search criteria. There's a term above the fold that if you, for the search terms that you're targeting, get on the front page of Google, if you're number one, there's a 56% probability that they'll click just on your site. Sadly, people are wasting thousands of dollars on websites that are just not doing anything. Brian, just at this point, I know you have a very strong background, and what I'd like to do is just ask your opinion on the digital engagement.
Yes, thanks, Mike. Obviously, I think it's very important, but one of the things that a lot of people perhaps don't realise about digital engagement is that it can work very well with an existing business. That's to say, if you have a bricks and mortar business, whether it's a retail shop, whether it's a professional consultancy, whether it's agriculture, manufacturing, and right down perhaps to the cottage industries, you can still continue to do business in a regular way, and you can use in concert the digital world. That is to say, you may have a Facebook page, a website, or something of that nature. But it's very important to, I think, to try and coordinate digital activity with your regular activity. Make both work together. And of course, that's not so easy to do. It's probably easier to say than it is to do, Mike, but that I think is something that people need to focus on when they think about the digital economy, to work both in unison together.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah. Look, I can also use a website, an analogy like a house. It's either got to be built properly from the foundation up. Just taking a house that's not been built properly and trying to do extensions to it doesn't usually work. So there is the evidence there to get it right and put it into action. Also, sadly, a lot of people hear things but don't follow through, don't put it into practice. My basic advice is, look, the only way to learn, and I do have a little bit of a background too in training and development, particularly for adults, is look, just get involved and start learning. There's a lot of misinformation about the web, but there's also a wealth of information on the web and courses for people who want to get involved. So I would strongly suggest that you consider making the web part of your business, and the people who do you know, they are improving their business. Now, I've created a 34-page report which helps people identify why their site might not be working. Now, if you'd also like a copy of this, it's a free report. It's produced by me and it's changing all the time, but if you'd like a copy, let Kylie know and we can send it out to you. Now, how do you get noticed on the internet? Now, the internet is just like bricks and mortars. You've got to be doing something to attract attention. In a retail shop, you might be doing windows or promotion or signs or newspaper advertising, whatever, which incidentally, newspaper advertising is reducing significantly, but it's all about providing valuable and unique content. And also in terms of Google algorithms, the more you change information and the more information you provide, the better it is. And there's some other things that they talk about in terms of the keywords that you're targeting, and then keyword density and what sort of content you have. But look, the old, my business, we used to use the old direct mail letters, and it proved to be very successful. But now it's coming to the electronic email. And there's a whole lot of rules about spam and who you can contact and who you can't. Also, yeah, local directories, and there's a lot of them that are still free. But be active on social media, and I do joke sometimes when I hear people say, oh, social media, it's not for me, whatever. But from a business point of view, please consider creating a business page. And it's not about you, it's about your customers. And if your customers want it, need it, and use it, take advantage of it. But a list is gold. Do whatever you can to continually build up a list of people that you engage and get back to. And advertise, advertise, advertise. And one of the cheapest ways of doing this is on a website with what they call AdWords. So yeah. So you can also advertise on your own websites. If you've got websites that are attracting huge numbers, you can put something on it called AdSense, and Google actually pays you for those ads. Now, there's also a lot of other local and friendly websites where you might be able to place your banner ad on it. You can also advertise on Facebook, for example, but the real medium to get involved in is AdWords. But you've either got to be doing it properly and your website's got to be functionally set up, and you need to get someone who knows about AdWords, otherwise you can waste a lot of money very quickly. And yeah, social media, YouTube, you can advertise on YouTube, and you can add paid boosts with Facebook, and you can also do paid ads. But also then use other articles and forums. Common thing is blogs, where if you get people, your clients, used to your blogs, they keep coming back, get good information, and then every so often you present them with an offer, and your sales will just go up. So yeah, let's look at searching on the web. It's what they
Oh,
call
Mike,
yes,
sorry, Mike, may I just interrupt you for a moment? I'm sorry.
you're right.
I just wanted to quickly mention, if I may, I'm getting quite a few comments here,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to acknowledge, just before you move on, that a number of people have asked for the booklet that you just mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping that Kylie has got all of those people down. So to those that have just put into their question box that they would like a copy of the booklet, by all means, we've got you noted down. And I think there's a few questions coming through here, and one earlier question came from Daniel. He just asked about Dropbox Online. Mike, do you want me to answer that?
Yes, yes, if you'd like to, yep.
Okay, fine. Dropbox, Daniel, as you well know, is a repository for information. It can store files, it can be used as an archive system, and it can be used for a sharing system. Look, it's very good for that, but it's not exactly what we'd call a presence online. Dropbox can be made publicly available, but generally speaking, most people would use Dropbox in what I call a closed environment. So in other words, they would share information with people that they would specifically nominate. So Dropbox probably doesn't fall into the category of being a presence online. I hope that helps you.
Yep.
Thanks, Mike. Sorry for the interruption, and
Yes.
Back to you.
Yes, I just noticed we've only got about 7 minutes to go, so I'll speed up the presentation a little bit, and there's a couple of things I'll only cover. The words that people use to search, pardon me, can have a big impact upon the search that is presented to them by Google. So you have to be responsive. Now, a couple of functional things in terms of a website. Some of the basic things is to get a domain name and have that consistent with your registered business name. You have to have it hosted. Again, somewhere like HostGator. You need to have a website, and there's some basic menu titles that should be paid. Now, what's best, a free or a paid website? I just give a slight little bit of a caution here at the moment. This is from Google, that sites like Weebly, Vista, Wix, there's a number of them, are not treated as well as other sites, something like a WordPress type program. So just be aware of that. Now, and this is these do-it-yourself websites. You can get some programs, build up a lovely site, but they're not as functional. What is an e-commerce website? An e-commerce website is specifically set up to attract people to buy, and that's where the real business end of the model gets to. So you've got to decide on your strategy, what you want to do, how the website and any other social media is going to come into your business model. Decide on a budget, and like any sort of management, test it, test it, test it, and if it's not working, something's wrong, go and get some advice. And you know, whether you hire someone to do it or whether you do it yourself. Again, advertising, you can either do it yourself or you can, you know, get someone to do it. It's like changing the brakes on your car. You know, for certain things, it's better to get paid expertise, but take small results and, you know, get there. Now, just some ballpark figures, and there's huge range, but domains and hosting from about 150 a year. Websites from, I've seen them actually as cheap as about $300, up to thousands, not just $2,000, but $5,000, $10,000. Some of those do-it-yourself courses, again, from $50 to $500. Social media, again, takes time to learn, and there are some courses out there. And you have to learn to set up advertising. If you want to fully integrate your website with e-commerce, that takes more work, more knowledge. Now, this is the thing that Brian alluded to this morning. We've developed a new online video course to take the pain out of, well, you can either make all the mistakes yourself or you can follow a roadmap. We've designed a course to help you specifically get your web on your web site a presence there. And if your website's not working, in conjunction with my checklist and this course, it should help you to take some corrective action. Now, we've tried to keep all the techie stuff out of it, and we've also tried to we've got action sheets, to sort of cheat sheets, to make it simple for the people just to work through. Now, for today, as a part of this webinar promotion, we are only charging $1 and you get full access to that course. Now, if you type in, and Kylie, could you just type that into the dialog box there? If you type in that URL, bec.com.au/special, you'll go straight to a PayPal checkout, and you'll be able to watch it today, tonight, tomorrow, this weekend. So look, thank you very, very much for attending. The other thing we can do is that we also have a contract called the Small Biz Connect contract. Now, if you wish to, you can email us and make an appointment. Now, because of physical limitations, we can only do this in the New England Northwest geographic area. So that's like the Moree, Tamworth, Tenterfield, Gunnedah, Weewar, area. But if you email us, we can have one of our advisors, business advisors, come and meet with you. We will also be having some face-to-face workshops in Armidale, Tamworth and Moree, where you can register and come in line and we can sit down with you. Now, if you're interested in this, we will send you a form and a privacy statement. Now, the best part about this too is that it's heavily subsidised by the New South Wales state government. We can have up to 2 appointments with you, fully subsidised, and thereafter there's some modest costs. So look, thank you very much for attending. We are working to the 10 o'clock deadline. So if we will send you out this form and also an evaluation form. We treat that very seriously to work out whether we're on the money. Now, we will be having a series of other webinars over the next probably 2 months, and we'll probably have the same time slot, Tuesday morning, 9:30, and we'll be sending you out other invitations to join in. But and if you have any special requests where you'd say, I'd really like more information on this topic, please don't hesitate to give me a call. So look, thank you very much for attending, and I hope you enjoyed it.